Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, because that's where the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce has their annual policy conference. And of course, what's one of the things you're always talking about when you talk about business in Michigan and Detroit is the automotive industry, mobility industry. I'm sorry. Glenn Stevens joins us right now, head of MICHauto. How you doing, bud?
Good. I'm good. It's good to be with you guys this morning.
Well, and this is a great place to be, isn't it? I
It
mean,
is. There's a lot going on
yeah, and you move in and out of meetings all day. I mean, we,
all day.
we watch
Yeah,
we watch you walk past. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
there is relevant, impactful conversations.
Yeah.
Some you see out in front, some behind closed doors, but it's all intended to move Michigan forward. And I think that's what's happening.
Well, and the people that otherwise might take you a year to get out and reach are all here.
Well, that is true. I mean, I just had a text from somebody wants to meet in a little bit here that I've been having a hard time getting together with back in Detroit,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't think that is, but that's why this is a beautiful thing, is they're all here,
No, there's
one
no doubt
place.
about it. You got to come here. You guys have gone through what do I call it? A suit change, right?
A bit.
A little bit of rebranding, etc.
We did re-energizing the brand. We took a step back with a third-party partner with Franco Public Relations and did a really deep dive on, are we doing the right things? Do our investors and supporters and stakeholders and partners believe in our work, and what do they want us to do more of?
Hmm.
So a pretty exhaustive process to do that. And it included a new logo for the future, but it also was a double and triple down on promoting, retaining, and growing our automotive and mobility industry as the only voice that does that in Michigan.
Well, this is it's interesting when you kind of rebrand, because a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons, which is to just look a little different,
Mhm.
and that's kind of like growth for growth's sake.
Right.
It just doesn't work out. I'm glad to hear there was a ton of research behind it.
Yeah, ours was a gut check.
Yeah.
The industry today is vastly different than when MICHauto was founded
Yep.
in 2007. So therefore, you have to say, is our roadmap right? Are we responding to the needs of the industry? And are we helping lead the transition that we're in the middle of too? And frankly, that is what we're doing. We're going to double and triple down that even more on a statewide basis.
So interestingly enough, yeah, with the change of the automotive industry, mobility industry, if you will. So what are the current challenges that are out
Well, I think the two big ones um, are continue to be our talent. And I know that everybody says that all the time, but really, every economy, every job, every industry is moving more and more digital. That's from the factory floor with automation and the interfaces it has to the connected car to the cloud. So we need more tech talent across the board, across the state in our industries and automotive. The second one is the competitive forces have never been stronger, and there are many of them. And China and the EV transition is a very, very big deal. And making people understand that what we're dealing with here is very different than anything we've ever dealt with before. And so those are the two big challenges, and that's what we're rising up to meet.
It's kind of interesting because there was a time not that long ago that we went over to China with our manufacturing facilities and kind of partnered to capture that market. This looks like the response of, this is our market. We're going to capture it.
That's a good way to look at it. And from your travels and your interactions, you understand the people, the mentality of that country. But the fact of the matter is we do have a lot of our companies that do business in China, so that market is very important to them. But the Chinese market, I mean, look, they build 40 million vehicles. That's over three times what we do in North America. And there's 10 million units of excess capacity in China, and they have cornered the market on EVs. It's a long, complicated history, but the fact is they did it, and now they're going global with that. So if we're not aware of what that impact is on Michigan and on our national security and on our economic security, then we're flying blind, and we're not going to let that happen.
So, Glenn, let me ask you, because one of the things holding back EV from going 100% is infrastructure,
Oh, absolutely,
right?
that's a challenge.
So, is China in a good infrastructure?
Well, I mean, as you know, it's a very planned economy. It's not a market economy. And their ability to literally put buildings up, put infrastructure, put roads in place literally overnight
Right.
is unsurpassed globally. But when you look at our country, and if we bring it back to Michigan, we have to have less regulation, we have to have less control, and we have to improve the permitting process for mining, for putting in transmission lines. So we have to move quicker. And so infrastructure is a huge enabler, but right now it's really prohibiting the EV market in a lot of ways from growing. There are other factors, but that's one of them.
So the EV market is still moving forward. There is still a market demand for it. We just can't kind of meet all of its needs.
It's not moving forward as fast as people anticipated. This is a huge issue right now. We're seeing a lot of pullback, and it's not just in Michigan, it's across the board. So I think that we're going to have to work together and understand, is it happening? Yes. It's just going to be a much slower adoption than anyone I think really realized.
Yeah, I certainly understand that. Well, listen, I'd love to have you on, buddy. I wish we had an hour, honestly.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I appreciate having the opportunity with you and your team.
Well, we really appreciate what you guys in MICHauto are doing for the state of Michigan. So thanks. Glenn Stevens, the CEO of MICHauto. I'm Chris Holman, and as you know, we're coming to you from this is maybe the grandest of grand hotels, right, on Mackinac Island. And we're here for the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy meeting. And we are going to be right back on the Michigan Business Beat, which comes to you on the Michigan Business Network.